And so we're doing now some fundraisers, and we've been able to funnel money into this orphanage to continuously feed these kids. The normal kids during, or not normal, but the other kids in areas like Port-au-Prince, they eat probably every other day. So today, the juice you've already had more than they have, and they probably wouldn't eat until tomorrow at some point, and that's the lucky ones. That's the ones that have means to go and get some food. They eat a lot of rice, and beans and some kind of stuff that you wouldn't want to eat. It was really hard to see them, but they would line up and they're very well-behaved children. So this is where the questions come in. That's a very quick rundown of what we did.
For the tent villages, how many people do they normally have per tent? Or like, because you said like a lot of people lose their families, so are they like with their families in the tent, or are they just pretty much people are thrown into a tent to live together?
What they've done, and that is a really good question, because we bring our thought of how people live from this culture to theirs, so you think, well, they're living with their families. What they've done is, there's a lot of extended families, so if a little boy we met who was around 11, lost his whole family but found his cousins, then they would live together. Or a family that had a mother and father would adopt in other kids. So an average family of 7 lived in a tent.
And how big were the tents? Like, was it just
It was
like
bigger
just
than
one?
this circle, or smaller than this circle. There was enough room, in most of the tents, there was enough room for one, like, twin-size mattress that had been donated. And, maybe like a little shelf. They kept their stuff inside, but they lived outside. And so, in the pictures you'll see, they'll have their tent, but then outside their tent, they build fires to cook on, and they kind of all huddle around the fires most of the time, and cook. One thing you'll notice when you look at the pictures, these people are very, very smart, very hardworking, and take a lot of pride in the way they look. The women are always, they try to make themselves look as best as they can. They're really, really big on washing their clothes. Even if they don't have soap, they'll put them in any type of water. The ones that have soap, I mean, their white shirts are so crisp white that we joke like, you're hurting my eyes, you're so white. And they'll have an iron, and they'll be sitting outside of this tent city with this fire and be ironing with I don't know what you call it, some type of device that they heat over the fire to iron their clothes. I mean, they're really, 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 because they feel that if they look presentable, then they'll move up in society. And if they learn English, then they move up, because we all had a translator. That translator usually, it was almost a one-on-one because there was only a few of us, but then some of them, there'd be 2 or 3 on one. So the translators made about $10 or $20 a day, which was a lot of money. Their average salary is about $300 a year. So the translators were decently dressed and wanted to fit in with the Americans. Regardless of what you look like, if you have white skin, you are rich to them, period. I mean, it doesn't matter if you say, in our culture, I only have 1 car and I live in an apartment. That is enormously rich to them. Like, it blows their mind that you have a camera or a computer. And there are some vehicles, but the gasoline is, you buy it on the streets in jugs, and it has been, I don't know, I'm probably totally butchering this part of it, but it's been run through a couple of times, so it's dirty. So they pour it through like a cheesecloth type of material, and then they sell it again. And so their cars are always breaking down. Are any of you all driving? A lot of you probably, if you're 17.
Raise your hand if you're driving.
So imagine no traffic laws at all, none. You drive as fast as you want, anytime, anywhere. There's no stoplights, there's no stop signs. The police don't care what police there are. I tell you, the driving is, I thought it was kind of fun, but it is chaos, to say the least. Because the people that do have cars, I mean, they are barreling down these dirt roads with cars on either end as fast as you could possibly get there. That's how they drive, and they love their horns. So they have these things called tap taps that are like pickup trucks. And people will pay a couple of, like, to us it would probably be about 25 cents, but they pay what they call a good, which is their monetary system. And they'd pay a good and they'd be able to pile on a tap tap on the back, so they'd hang off the end of them. You would see 30 people on the back of these tap taps, because that's the only way to get from point A to point B without walking. And the thing would be like scraping the ground when it was driving, and there would be another one jump on. I mean, it just was amazing to see. And we saw a couple of wrecks that were just pretty horrendous, but they don't have any traffic laws, and most of the police system was killed in the earthquake, and their jails, the people that survived, they just got rid of them because they were criminals. So
They killed them?
yes, they shot them because they were just going to be running free. And they felt like that was, for the society, that was the best way to deal with that issue. You got to think, I mean, the entire country fell apart in one day, and people did what they had to do.
There are people that are still dying from cholera.
Cholera, yeah.
Okay.
That's another thing.
Where are they putting those bodies?
They have a field that is, Port-au-Prince is the main town, I guess you'd call it. And we drove out, and there is a very, very large field. I mean, I'd say 100 acres probably. And you have to drive out, and they had they had some dump trucks. And they have some mass graves out there that they still are using.
Did you
They
have to
also
go
have
out there?
some incinerators. Yeah, we went out